What's going on YouTube? Your boy is back again with another video. Today we got a low taper video, but on this taper we're gonna be cutting it from an afro to wave length. Hopefully y'all gain a new perspective on how to do these tapers after watching this video. And before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button for me real quick. It'll help me get out in the algorithm and help more people learn how to cut hair as well. So first things first, you always want to pick out the client's hair. This is going to allow for your clippers to go through their hair very smooth, because if you don't comb it out or pick it out, your clippers going to be getting caught up in their hair, because we do have a very tight and coily hair texture, so it will kind of give it like a snag sound effect. So you want to make sure that most of it is picked out as much as possible. So what I'm going to do is take my clipper no guard closed. I know it's open right now, but I'm going to close it up. And all we're gonna do is trim off like that first layer of hair, because it's kind of straggly and things like that. So I'm just kind of debulking the area with my freehand work. That way when I do put my guard on, it'll be easier for me to get some of that hair off. But with these cordless clippers, the motor isn't that strong, so it really can't get through afros like that. So this is a better method for me, instead of just trying to go in with that guard and kind of mow everything down. It's just gonna be too hard on my clippers and too much work for me. So I'm gonna just shave off this first layer and then go in with my guard work. Now I'm gonna put on my 2-guard, and this 2-guard is gonna allow for me to cut his hair down, but not cut it down too low, because we don't know how the hair pattern really is yet. So the 2-guard gonna leave enough hair on top for him to possibly wave up if we want to keep it there, but it's gonna allow for me to get the bulk off his hair and still see where we at, because we can drop down to 1.5, or we can keep it at the 2, but we don't want to jump in with a 1-guard and cut everything too low. You know, you want to look out for light spots, cowlicks, swirls, and all that type of stuff. Alright, so now with my 2-guard open against the grain, I'm going to just debulk this area, because as y'all can see, towards the C cup it's a little lighter, and back towards the ear it's a little darker. So we're going to try to make the canvas as even as possible by debulking, but not taking too much off. That's smoothing out that work area so we can get started on our taper. I also like to get behind the ear and do a flick out motion, just so I can get all that bulk from behind the ear. And that way the hair can lay down, so when I line it up, it be real nice, natural, and dark, instead of having to push the line back in so far or add enhancements to the back line like some barbers do. And I'm coming back down with the grain too, so I can smooth everything back down, excuse me. So I'm taking my clippers no guard open, and I'm turning them around, and I'm gonna set my first initial guideline in at eye level. As y'all can see where his eye is and where I'm holding the brush at by the ear, that's where I'm gonna set the guideline in at, so I can be able to stretch this blend out due to his head shape and the type of hairstyle he's going for. You don't want a very highball taper, and you're trying to keep the C cups, and you don't want to cut off the blending area. So now I'm gonna go no guard open, and I'm just using the corner of my blade, and I'm coming up maybe a full inch on this. You know, we're gonna really stretch this blend out to make sure that jump pop without spray first. First and foremost, always make sure the taper pop without spray. And now with this method, I'm gonna go from closed to open. So now I'm going closed, and I'm gonna nudge at that bottom line with the corner of my blade, and then you're gonna see me drop the 2 and drop the 3 and drop to possibly 4, and yeah, I know I'm gonna go back to 5. And that's gonna set the foundation for this blend, because the no guard work is the work that really sets up the foundation for the whole blend. Like as far as fades and tapers, the no guard open and close work really is the groundwork for everything else. Like, you can't build a house on a weak foundation, because it's gonna fall down. So this is the first initial step, and this is the layer where you need to have it as close to perfect as you can get it, because it's gonna make the rest of the haircut come together so much more smoother. Now we're going back close at the bottom, and we're just gonna do some detail work. So I'm gonna be doing some lever play. All right, now I'm gonna put on my 1.5 guard, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna debulk this taper. And I'm only gonna use the corner teeth majority of the time, and I got this clipper open right now. All we're doing is debulking so that we can see our blend come together slowly but surely. You never wanna go in cutting too much hair off. And after I end up finishing with the open, I'm gonna close it up, and y'all should see me flick the lever as y'all just seen. Now we're gonna slap on that number 1 guard, and all we're gonna do is come back under that with the corner of our blade, of course. And y'all see how everything is flowing together. All we gotta do is come under where we use a 1.5 guard at and do the 1 guard work, open, halfway close, or 1 guard open, straight to close. It's all depending on how the hair is moving. And as y'all can see, I went halfway in this situation. Now as y'all can see, we're gonna close the lever up, and we're just gonna clean up all the way at the bottom and try to connect these 2 lines. And we're gonna do some more detailed work to make this joint even more blurry by putting on the 0.5 guard and getting to work with it. I'm gonna start off halfway because going open really don't do too much. It really starts to cut hair at the halfway point and when it's closed. So all we're gonna do is drop down a little bit more in our fade and just take out the little thickness and the thick line in the fade as much as we can. All right, now we gotta take out the bulk at the top again. So we're gonna put on our 1.5 guard, open, and just flick out at it. We don't have to put on a 2 guard per se, but this right here is gonna give us the range on our taper to be able to, for one, keep it dark at the top and take it behind the ear and get a nice crisp back ear line. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm talking about. Alright, so here I put on the 1 guard, and I got it all the way open on this smooth down right here on the ear / neckline, so that it can have a smooth line up so it can be real crispy and make the back taper pop and connect to the side taper that we're doing. Now we're just gonna fade the beard in with the same steps, no guard open. You know, we're just gonna keep doing some guard work, but we're gonna cut the beard down to, I believe, a 3 to keep it full but get a lot of that weight off of it. Now that I faded against the grain, I'm gonna take this 3 guard so I can knock off a lot of this bulk and weight off of his beard, but still keep it thick and manageable. See, he only gets a haircut maybe like once every 2 to 3 months, so we try to give him a haircut that can last him a while and, you know, isn't something that you have to manage too much. Now I'm taking my 2 guard, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go down and flick out with the grain at the top of this beard to kind of give it a flare look so that everything blends in smoothly. You always want to blend in, well, blend in general with the grain and against the grain to give it, what's the word? I believe the word is volume. I'm finna Google it right now while we live. Volume in art. Volume in art, the amount of space occupied by an object. Yes, gives it volume. Instead of it looking like a square, it look like a cube. You get to see the dimensions of the blend when you cutting hair. So you want to add volume all the time when cutting hair. You don't want no super flat blends, like that's lame when you cutting. But I'm gonna take my 1.5 guard and just continue to do the cleanup work. As y'all can see, this beard is coming together, but wait till we put that raise on that thing. Alright, now we're gonna hop straight into that back taper. We got our 1 guard on open, and we're gonna lay down all of these like I say, all of these. We're gonna lay down all this hair on the back of his neck so that we can blend it together. I'm not going above the occipital bone. The occipital bone is the bone in the back of the head that makes our head have that curve in it, and it makes some people like they got lips in the back of their head. So you want to keep the taper below there so that you can still preserve a lot of their waves, and so the occipital bone doesn't be protruding, like you can see it and spot it. You want to kind of disguise it as best as you can. All right, so now we're gonna go no guard open. Yeah, I know we're gonna fade that out halfway and close, keeping this part very smooth because this is the most important part of the fade. Notice how much I'm going up. I'm going up a little bit more wider since the back of the head has a more wider space. It is important to know where you're working at and how big your guidelines need to be. And typically the back of the head, if it's wide like this, you can have wider guidelines. Now I'm gonna take this one guard and we're gonna go ahead and take off about the same amount as we did in the first guideline, and we're gonna connect the two and blend them in into the waves. Well, you know, it's not waves now, but the majority of the hair that's going with the grain. Now I got my 0 guard on my 0.5 guard on, and we're just gonna blend them two together. And now I'm gonna take the guards off and I'm gonna just freehand do some detail work to make sure that this part is very smooth before we connect the top. Now I got on my 1.5 guard and I'm just gonna add an extra layer to this blend, but stand below the occipital bone as well. We're not gonna go above the occipital bone, we're gonna keep everything below it. And now what you see me doing here is just going back through, smoothing everything down. You can never go over the hair too many times to get all the little spots that you didn't hit at first. So I'm going back through, smoothing everything down. All right, now I'm gonna take my 1 guard and I'm gonna just lay the edges of those hairs down. With the grain, of course, we're not gonna go against the grain, we're gonna go with the grain. The way that he would brush the hair, just laying those hairs down, get ready for our lineup. And then I'm gonna hit him with the razor comb. The razor comb is a pretty good asset on certain hair textures, on certain hair types. You really have to grow a connection with your razor comb in order to get the desired look that you really want. But we're gonna run through the hair with the razor comb as well. Now I'm gonna hit them with some holding spray, make sure all these hairs stay in place while we line them up. And as y'all can see, you kind of got that U shape going, and it looks like it's receding on both sides real bad. But watch how I finesse this joint. Now since we laid the hairs down and held them in place with the holding spray, all we gotta do is really just tap and go and cut these little bangs off. And I'm not gonna go deep into those corners. I'm gonna try to finesse this line. I'm not gonna try, I did finesse this line. Y'all gonna see exactly what I'm talking about. Now most barbers would have dug all the way back into where it's light at, and they would just pushed it back, and it would have just been a hot mess. But you don't have to do that. You can bring these hairlines to life by ghosting those corners, because it's not like it's bald. There is hair there. People just would prefer to push it all the way back. So me and my client talked about it, and he said, man, do what you do, and y'all see how that junk come together. This with no enhancements. Alright, now for the beard, we're gonna start at the very top of the beard, like right before it connects to the taper, and keep that junk wide. And try not to push it down too much. You know, we're gonna try to get a crisp. I gotta stop saying we're gonna try. We gonna get a crisp line. You feel me? We're gonna start at the top of that junk and keep it wide and come all the way down to the bottom of the beard and get a crisp line. That's the objective, and we try not to dig into his beard, really none, if we don't have to. I always come back on top of that beard and get the excess hair. It's gonna clean the skin up and lighten it up, and man, make it look way more crispier on that beard line, because all the excess hair is gone out the way. Alright, the phone that I'm using here is the OG Walker Red Alert holding phone. If y'all go to OG Walker Instagram page and go to his bio, y'all can find it, or y'all can go to his website. I believe it's ogwalker.com, something like that. But anyway, find him on Instagram at OG Walker. And he a barber, and he sell his products, and his products are off the chain. I ain't gonna lie. He does not have one product that I like disapprove of. All this stuff is almost perfect, and they all smell great. My clients love his products. And this is the finished product with no enhancements. Y'all see how we finesse their hairline? This is 100% natural. This is no spray. This is just clipper, razor, and some OG Walker holding foam to lay their hair down. Y'all see everything looks so polished and neat. This is how haircuts are supposed to look. You know, every haircut ain't gonna come out with this level of crispiness and polish and being this polished, but the objective is to have each client as polished as you can get them without enhancements. Whenever you do put your enhancements on, it's just supposed to smack 10 times harder. It's supposed to enhance the cut, not create the cut. So this is the haircut with enhancements. My boy was going out of town with his girl, so I had to go and put that sauce on him, bruh. That man like a whole new man. You would not be able to tell that he came in looking like this because he walking out looking like this. But yeah, man, I hope y'all learned something. Once again, I'm not the best barber. I got a lot of flaws in my game, but I'm on YouTube to try to help people who don't know how to cut, you know, teach them the concept of how to cut, put some money in their pocket. So, man, if you really like this video and enjoying what you see, please leave a like, leave a comment, and share this video. And most importantly, subscribe to the channel so you can, you know, keep up with more footage and more haircut tutorials.